They dated for 11 years and have been married for 6. Ifeyinwa is Igbo and a customer relations expert. And Aramide is a civil servant from the Yoruba tribe. They have 1 baby. So how are you guys doing?
We're fine.
You're fine?
Fine.
Okay. Tell us a bit about yourselves. Your name, where you're from, you know, what you do for a living and what you do for fun. So.
Okay. I think you go first.
Okay, my name is Ifeyinwa Amore. I'm from Onitsha in Anambra State. I'm a customer service expert. For fun, priorities have changed. With a baby, fun could be crawling on the floor playing with my baby, but then I read for fun as well. So yeah.
Okay. Mr. Amore.
Well, my name is Aramide. Aramide Amore, from Ogun State, of course. Yewa South, to be precise. I work for the government, and for fun, I think I watch a whole lot of football.
And crime and investigation.
And I watch crime and investigation on DSTV.
You will let us watch it.
That's what I do for fun, actually. I'm more to myself and my family. I have a few friends, but my fun is when I'm at home chilling with this beautiful woman.
You said your name was Aramide Amore.
Yep.
It's funny, when I see Amore, sometimes I think, I don't know, for some reason it doesn't sound Yoruba to
How's
me.
it sounding? Like,
yeah, like tell us a bit about what does Aramide mean and what does Amore mean?
Okay, you know, there's this Yoruba parlance that goes like Ilila wo kato somoloroko, meaning that circumstances around your home is what gives birth to the fact that your parents give you such name. I think back then, my parents were all by themselves. Okay, more especially my dad. He grew up not knowing his dad. He had no one. His dad died before he was born. So when he had me, I'm the first child. So I think when he had me, it summed up his whole life story, meaning that my brethren has come or a part of me has come. That's the meaning of Aramide. And for Amore, that one is village things. But I think back then, from what I gathered, the word Ore is something they use in praising God in the local language. And then I think my great-grandfathers or whoever it is, forefathers, ancestors, as the case may be, that was their favorite instrument. So when you say Amu Ore, they picked up that instrument to worship God, as the case may be. So I think that's just the summary of that name from what I gathered. It might have other meanings, but from my own small sniffing around, that was what I could figure out from the meaning.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep.
Ifeyinwa. Yeah. What does Ifeyinwa mean?
it means there's nothing as precious as a child. Yes, that's the literal meaning.
So how long have you been married?
5 years. 6 years this year.
Okay, kids?
Just one.
Oh, okay. So, Igbo, Yoruba couple, you've been married for 6 years this year.
Yes.
How did you meet?
Do I tell that story or you do?
You tell the story, I think you're better.
Okay. The story goes like this. It was in June 1999. We met, June 16, I think, to be precise, 16th of June. It was my mom's friend's birthday. My mom got back from work. I think we were still, you were in your early teens, I was in my late teens. We met as teenagers, actually. So I took my mom to her friend's place to see her that day after work, and they stayed in the same premises as our family friend, and she walked, as we were walking in, she walked right out, and I was like, okay, who's she? Because I'd been going to that house for quite a bit, and I had never seen anything like that there. Anything, sorry, I'm using the word thing. And then, we got talking, hi, how are you? And that was it, we're just friends. And the friendship grew, and then in November 2000, I think November 19 or 21, I think, I asked her out. And then officially we started dating a year later, or a little over a year later. That was in November 2000. And we were going It was just.
It wasn't a marriage thing. We were very young.
We were very young. We were just doing our thing. My boyfriend, my girlfriend.
But I wasn't even calling you my boyfriend. I was even shy. I was like, I'm too young to be boyfriend.
Okay, I was in the university then already. She wasn't. So I think I knew how to handle the man and woman ish for quite a bit, and we went on and on. And then, oh yeah.
We knew because he used to come to the house. Now I used to go to his house.
Our siblings became friends. It was
just like
it was very seamless. Let me use that word. And over the years, it kept growing. They kept seeing her, and they were like, "Shomo Igbo yenoni," and I'm like, "Yes, Shomo Igbo yenoni." You know, I had my 21st birthday party, which was huge back then, and then. You know, all these aunties, young man by now, you should have a girlfriend, blah, 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 blah. And I was pointing to her in one corner. They were like, and I'm like, yes. Do you have a problem with that? Like, no. If your mommy have said no problem, no problem. And I'm like, please, I don't need your opinion in all of this. You know, there are quite a few people who would come with that, have you checked? Have you this? Have you that? And I'm like, she's just my girlfriend. If he ends in marriage, fine. If he doesn't, no issues. There's no long and short in all of this. And then it grew. It kept growing. She also got to school. I was in University of Lagos. She was in Olabisi Onabanjo University. It was quite a distance, you know, and back then, and there were no phones yet then, you know, so we managed through holidays. She'll come home, we'll get together, come over to my place, go over to her place. We became a constant features in our lives and in our both homes. The parents
even had like family functions, weddings and all. Their mom still be like, I bought Ankara for you as for like Ashwebi, and so I'll just follow them. I'll tell my mom, I'm going to wedding. Whose wedding are you going to? I'm following Ara's mom. Okay, bye-bye. Come back early, you know, and all. And then the moms used to, like, when they meet at the supermarket, and they're like, if he was at our place the other day, we still saw him again 2 days ago, he came around. And, you know, it was still just... And all this, like, seriously, I didn't have marriage in mind. And he wasn't that I will marry on that story. Or people who they used to marry and they won't marry. So I was just like, I beg. And then when I was in school, and then I was like, I like you. I'm like, I have a boyfriend. I have a boyfriend. You have a boyfriend. Is this yours? I mean, I don't have a boyfriend. So he continued like that. And then I graduated. He came out from NYSC. Got a job. No. Okay. Got a job, and we were still going out of each other's homes.
And what happened? I think it was in 2011. Yeah, that was
2011. 2000 and okay, yeah, 2010. That was when you proposed. They were going married in 2011.
Oh, whatever.
So never at any point did any of your parents have an issue with your ethnicities? You know, with you being Yoruba, did your mom ever have any issue? And your parents, like your mom, your dad, siblings.
Because I wasn't bringing any other person home. I wasn't saying this guy is my friend. I wasn't saying that he was the only one that kept saying all this.
You know, over time, it was just we started out as friends, and over a period, our siblings got to be friends too. I'm the first, she's the first. I have 3 behind me, she has 3 behind her. And they're almost of the same age bracket, so it was very seamless. Everybody was just going on as friends, and everybody knew everybody. We were going to...
waiting for the day you will see.
We're going to parties together, doing stuffs together, and it was just seamless. So there was hardly any argument or contest. It's like as if they knew it was going to happen. But when it would happen was everybody was waiting for. And my dad, oh God, that's my Superman. He would tell everybody that if it is cripple, hunchback, blind, anyone that you want, as long as it is what you want, you have my blessing. So he barely has no issues. They both had no issues with whoever it is I was bringing home, and same as her mom, wonderful woman, Kai.
And even when somebody Even when somebody like made a comment to my mom.
What kind of comment?
We went to Onitsha.
Oh, okay.
We went for...
You went with...
No,
okay.
just myself and my mom. We traveled for a function. And that was like, when are you bringing a husband? And I was like, well, she has somebody already, just not married yet. And they're like, really? Is he from Onitsha? I'm like, no. He's from Ogun State. Ogun State. They marry another wife. They like marrying more than one. Mom said, we, her parents have decided that she's fine with it. And we're also fine with it. So it's not a problem. And don't worry, he won't marry another wife. You know? It's not a problem. So one day I even asked my mom, I was like, you never really said anything negative about. She was like, well, there was really nothing negative to say. He's a good guy, he's from a good family, and you guys are friends, you guys are happy. What's there to say? Okay, that's fine.
Oh. So apart from the stereotypes of, Yoruba men marrying another wife, especially if their wife is not Yoruba, what other, the question also applies to, what other stereotypes, what other stereotypes did you hear about, maybe about Igbo women, more Igbo, you're going to marry an Igbo woman, or Yoruba man care. So what other stereotypes did you hear, when you guys were preparing to get married, or even during your years as a couple?
Well, well, is it the one that will start with the Osu caste system? Yeah, I think I heard that once or twice from an uncle, I think, yeah, that have I checked that they don't have it running in their family, blah, 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 blah. And I'm well read. I know, I read a whole lot of stuff, a whole lot of things I read, so I quite understood where he was going to with that statement. And I was like, whether Osu, whether Absu, whether anyone, honestly, nobody's opinion counts right here, because it's my headache. Whatever result I get from it, I'll carry it. I'm grown enough to take decisions by myself. If it doesn't work, fine. It's my cross. I'll carry it whichever way. So there's no need anybody trying to make attempts to dissuade me from this, because you have little or no say in anything that I'm going to do or I'll be doing much later with my life. And then, my life, people just come with all these...
You was with the bride price thing.
All these funny things that don't even count. All these funny stories that people just hear. And
one of his artists are like, the bride price will be
becomes a myth.
All these Igbo people.
Bride price is different.
All these Igbo people.
In fact, very cheap on nature people. Very cheap people. Hi.
Don't say it again.
Stop that thing.
Don't say it too loud.
He's still... Don't say it again.
Abi uncle say we should redo it again. I say I'll give them bill now. Who will have come? It's me that is them that will pay for the next one. But honestly, all these things we hear are just myths that are not really proven. People just form an opinion about a group of people or an ethnic group or something, and then it becomes a story people hear over time. And some people just stay glued to that story, not even finding out or not even being involved with these people to actually know how true or not true these stories are. So for me, if I come back again, I'll still take this decision. I'm here.
I'm making up on yourself to be honest. All this story.
I'm tired. What's that?
And he doesn't eat his native food. Like, I've never made amala since I got married.
Really?
I've never made iwedu since I got married.
I barely have Yoruba friends.
He's the one that will tell me he wants or has to. He wants onubu.
I even barely have Yoruba friends. I barely have Yoruba friends.
That, so with the food he was, and then of course he eats yado eba. That was like.
Are you sure you don't have Igbo?
So they say. So they say.
Did you ever at some point live in the East? Did you serve in the East, or?
Most of my friends back in university days are actually non-Yoruba speaking. I had about 5 Igbo friends and 1 Edo friend and 1 Delta friend, and that was my crew actually. I rolled in a crew of. And I was the only Yoruba-speaking person in that group. So over the years, I think I'm just born this way, so to speak. I'm not biased. I don't see people I don't judge people based on where they're from. I just see you as you and deal with you as a person. It's easier that way, and it allows people to live in peace, honestly. I don't want to think, because that boy is an Igbo boy, he's going to do this, because that one is Hausa, he's going to... No. I have an uncle who is married from Bauchi. Our family, we are so detribalized. I have an uncle who married a Bauchi woman, so that's just the way we are. We are all over the place, trying to make Nigeria a better place.
Ifeyinwa, have you ever been to Ogun State?
Oh, yes. As a girlfriend.
Okay.
I used to follow them for village functions as well.
Oh, and what was your experience like? What was it?
It was okay, you know, compared to where I was coming from, hometown, so to speak. Very small local village. But I used to go, and I still go when they have, because they're actually part of the royal family. So whenever they have things going on like that, we have to go. So I used, and then I schooled in Ogun State, so it made it easier. I can speak the language fluently.
And would you say that helped in some way to adjust?
With extended family, yes. Not with his local family, with extended family, because when maybe one auntie or one uncle speaks to me and I respond in Yoruba, they're like, okay. You know, they're very surprised and they like it.
Yes. Okay. What about traditional marriage customs? I know that, you know, Igbo and Yoruba, we're like that with some of our traditional marriage customs and all. What was the one thing, I'm going to direct this question to Aramide, the one thing you found, okay, what was the most surprising thing about Onitsha traditional marriage customs for you?
Surprising? Will I call it surprising, or I don't even know what to use. Yeah, let me use the word interesting. The negotiation part. Oh Lord, you have to go take your elderly ones will go before their elderly ones, and they call it negotiation. I honestly don't know what we are negotiating, but it was interesting though. You know, they went back and forth. Already we had a list of what to bring and stuff to bring, and then they run through the list and check if what they requested for is actually what you brought. And then it will go on and on for a couple of minutes, almost an hour or so, because, that period I was exhausted. I was running out of patience, and I was like, I brought everything. I brought extra self, because I had a list A to Y or something, or close to Z, and I had everything. The ones I couldn't bring, I had to monetize, so everything was well labeled, it was well structured out, it was well planned, and then we went on and on. They will have to go and check the list and check, okay, this one, the equivalent is this. They will have to go and cross-check again. They will go back and go and tell, and I'm like, really? Let's just get over with this, take everything, give me my bride, let me go, you know? But it was fun. I mean, it's good seeing that part of another culture again compared to what we do, and then they just Yoruba people and all those things, and then they dance and everybody goes home. In our own case particularly, I saw another part of, you know, taking somebody away from their family, where every other member of the family is actually involved, because it wasn't just our own immediate family. I had her dad's uncles, diopas, them, you know, all this, they have hierarchy in their families, and everybody was quite involved in it. And it was fun, though it was quite exhaustive, but eventually it made sense.
What were your parents' reactions? I mean, how did they see the whole procedure?
They sat all through, and, you know, for my dad especially, he sat back and he was just waiting for them to ask us to carry woman and go. It was my godfather who actually stood as my father that day, you know, and he was just having fun.
More like the spokesman.
Yeah, it was more like the spokesman, where they were carrying palm wine and drink to give us to drink. That was where Sam Dam was. You know, he's more of a jolly good fellow, and he was just enjoying every bit of the negotiation, especially when there's something to drink.
Yes. So do you speak Igbo now?
Yes, I do, but not fluently. Okay. But I understand very well.
Is this Ifeyinwa's doing, or did you learn before?
Yeah, I learned before. She hardly speaks Igbo too, so...
Do you even know how to speak Igbo, Ifeyinwa?
She tries. Long before now, I understand a bit here and there. I had friends who speak, so I picked from them. And of course, mommy will speak, I will respond and all those. I may not respond back in Igbo, I'll just respond in English.
And do you feel that this has helped with extended in-laws, like when you go for maybe Onitsha function?
Oh yes. As a matter of fact, when Nkechi had her intro, Nkechi. We had one recently. The other was this year. That's her younger sister, her second younger sister. It was just family knowing family and being. She didn't go because she just had a baby then, so I was there, and then the whole negotiations and everything went on. They talked, they did everything well there. So on our way back home, I think it was Obiora, yeah. One of her cousins who rode with me in my car. So we were just talking about the whole thing, and Nkechi was in the car. And we were all just talking generally about how Ifeyinwa's family, and I was saying everything they said. And the guy was like, really? So you understood everything we were saying? And I'm like, of course I do. Why am I sitting there? Why would I be there not understand? He was shocked. I was like, of course. Why would I not understand? I was like, so I've been there and I was pretending as if I did. I said, of course, I didn't pretend. I understood everything that was going on. He was so dazed that he didn't even believe I could understand a bit of what they were saying. So I think it works. It's fine. Functions. I blend in well. There's practically nothing I don't fit into when it comes to doing stuff with
What's the language of communication at home? Is it Yoruba, Igbo, English, Pidgin?
It's English and Yoruba. English mostly, but at times we just dilute it once a bit, but it's basically English.
Maybe you want to drive with points home.
Yeah, I know some couples are not particular about, passing down cultural values to their kids. Is that something that is important to you? Okay.
Certainly it is. I think I'll have her take that one.
It's very important because I rather he identifies with where his roots are than be freelance, so to speak, in the society. His name is Oluwadarasimi Onyedikachukwu Richard. So we call him, we make sure he understands. Today we'll call him Kachi. In fact, we'll call him Dr. Kachi, and he look, and then we'll call him Darasimi, and he look too. So he knows that he has he doesn't know yet, but I'm sure with time when he grows, he knows he has two different names from two different tribes.
Okay. What does Oluwadarasimi mean? God
has been extremely good to us.
Okay. And Onyedikachukwu.
Who is like God. He's like God.
Oh, that's I think it's also very important, just sometimes you feel when you have dual cultures like that, what do you pass down to your child? And I think it's nice that you're trying to pass down the dual culture because I think it enriches their lives, and they're able to adapt.
It's very easy to get lost in a blend of the easiest way to communicate, which is English. It's very easy to get, okay, you know what, let's just do English. Let's just answer English names. Let's just, not even factor in the fact that we have two different tribes in the house. So he's going to learn how to speak Igbo.
Oh, certainly.
And he's going to, of course, learn how to speak Yoruba.
Of course.
Yes.
Without trying to sound controversial or anything, I know that we're at the point in Nigeria where there's a lot of talk on how we're moving forward as a people, okay? There's the Biafran agitation, there's Odua on one side, there's Niger Delta, there's even the Middle Belt, and there's Arawa youth, and there's a question of, where are we headed as a society, okay? And what about people in mixed marriages? What about kids from mixed families? How do we navigate through all this? What's next for us? What do you think about all these things that are happening?
For most of the people making all these agitations, you discover that most of them have a way out if things don't go, or if everybody decides to go their way, and then, God forbid, we have the small civil war, blah, 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 and all of those things. There's nothing as good as Nigeria remaining as one. For most of us in our age and time, we met Nigeria as one. And for those that lived through the Civil War, they know what they saw. They know the story. It's not palatable. It's not good. It's not funny. And for the people in the North also giving Igbo people quit notice, it's still not funny. All these issues are issues that can be dealt with without... Exactly.
Because my mom was in the North during the war. She was in the North during the war, and she lost her dad
during that war.
In the North. Wow. It's very difficult for my mom to see me with an Hausa person and say, this is my friend.
We know that you're well traveled. You're well traveled, and you know, there's something that just being exposed to other cultures, whether they're Nigerian cultures or international cultures, there's something it does for you as a person. How would you say you both have evolved just by virtue of being married to someone different culturally?
So it makes it easier to want to, let me not use investigate, want to experience the other culture, because since we have something similar, where probably when I go to his own part of Nigeria and I see some, like the way they do stuff there, could be weddings, like you asked earlier, where they have, but during our wedding we had the two tribes do their two different rites. We first of all had the Igbo part of the wedding, after the negotiations, and I did the whole bridal thing, and I went to change into his own family attire. And then we came back and they did their own, they brought an alaga from Lagos, yes. So we had the whole double thing, you know, the whole prostration, the whole go and bring the wife, pick your Bible, show your ring, and all that. We had the two. And Onchapu were looking. They had never seen people lying on their tummies before, begging for wife. So they were even very happy, like, hey. See, this how they are begging for Oyibo. That's what they were saying. And in my mind, I was laughing because this is a norm in their own place. It's the norm in Lagos, and to them they had never seen anything like that before. And then, you know, when you go to other places like that, you want to also experience their own culture. In other parts of the world. Like, what do they do here? It's quite interesting. So I think intertribal marriages help in that aspect, in the sense that you might want to experience what other people do at their end. It's fun. It's not a lot of people are worried. They're like, I don't know, this is their tribe and all that, but to me, I don't think it's much of an issue.
Well, in as much as we're all from different ethnic groups and we're all from different places, I think as a people we are better together. In the sense that, you know, I am of the opinion that we should deal with ourselves on face value, not where you're from value, if there's any word like that. For every tribe or for every place or anywhere you're from in the part of the world, there's always the good, the bad, and the ugly. The same goes for profession. The same goes for everything and anything we do. It's left for an individual to decide on which group to belong to. If you feel you are human enough to live amongst people, not considering where they are from, not considering who they are, not considering whether he's crippled, he's blind or not, as long as you have that human feeling to coexist with a human just like you, we'll be better together. I don't believe in, because this person is from here, don't deal with him with a 10-foot pole. Because she's from this, don't talk to her. Because Calabar people, they are from this, they know how to do this more. Because this one is Igbo, he knows how to do that more. It's all a myth that, you know, people have heard over a period of time and sinks into their head. You said earlier that I'm well traveled. Oh yes, even within Nigeria, I've moved around quite often. I've lived in Calabar, I've lived in Abuja, I've lived in Lagos, I've lived in Kwara State, I've stayed amongst people, different tribes, different people. I've interacted with all sorts of people, the good, the bad, the very horrible ones. But me being who I am, I still tend to accommodate and, you know, just handle situations and things as they come. So, that being said, I still feel as it is, I will encourage people, let's marry across. All this marrying your tribe, because this one, some people will even go as far as going to their village. I had a personal case. There are two of them are my friends. They are my colleagues. My office encourages, you know, people coming together. And it was so painful because they were so in love. But, you know, the issue of she's emo. And they had one story in their family that, because the guy's uncle had one emo wife, the woman dealt with him so much that he almost died, blah, 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 blah. And that relationship died. Until today, I'm still hurt. They are still hurt too. And you know, it doesn't speak well for the togetherness we are claiming. And so you see, it's just pointless saying these people should stay on their own. Everybody, this one should stay on their own. That one too should stay on their own. There's no point in it. We will achieve nothing. We are better together as one than everybody controlling resources from wherever they deem fit. So it's just what it is. The world is a small place. Life is short. Be the best you can be. Do everything you want to do. Who knows? You might not wake up the next morning, you know. But more importantly, just do good and be happy.